Good day, everyone. So today our topic is about talent development and succession planning. So the talent development and succession planning are critical pillars of effective governance, particularly in government agencies where continuity, accountability, and public trust are essential. As public institution or government institution face increasing challenges such as workforce aging, skills gaps, digital transformation, and leadership turnover, a strategic approach to developing people becomes not just desirable but necessary. Talent development focuses on enhancing employees' competencies, performance, and potential, while succession planning ensures that leadership and critical roles are systematically prepared for continuity. Together, these practices help government agencies sustain institutional memory, improve service delivery, and build a resilient public workforce capable of responding to present and future demands. At this point, we will give the presenter ample time to discuss the key concepts, the frameworks, best practices, and the real-world application of talent development and succession planning in government agencies. And the presenter will elaborate on policies, strategies, challenges, and success stories that highlight how these approaches contribute to organizational stability and long-term effectiveness in the public administrator or public sector. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, can you hear me, Dean?
Yes, sir.
So Happy New Year, everyone. All the best for us this 2026. So this is the first part of my talk, talent development and succession planning in government agencies. So we need to distinguish first talent management and development. So when we say talent management, it's holistic, the entire employee life cycle, and development is more specific and on skill building and growth focus. And when you say talent management, is it's more on strategic alignment with the agency missions, the employee retention and deployment against talent development's individual or collective capability enhancement. And talent management is long term in terms of workforce planning, whereas development is ongoing and continuous and future oriented learning of the employees. And components of the talent management is the following. So this is the entire employee life cycle: attraction and recruitment, identification of high potential employees, then development. Talent development is one key component of management, and then engagement and performance management, retention and succession planning is also a crucial component of talent management, then deployment and workforce planning until separation and offboarding of the employees. And talent development includes training programs and upskilling, mentoring, coaching, and leadership development, career pathing, and professional growth opportunities, and also executive development plans. So succession planning, according to Dean Abante, it's a process of mapping essential roles and abilities inside an organization and identifying and developing individuals to take on critical responsibilities when team members transition out of the team. And according to CSC Prime HRM, it is a strategic HR process to identify, develop, and prepare employees for key leadership roles, ensuring continuity by aligning with CSC standards in recruitment, learning and development, performance, and rewards to build a pipeline of qualified successors for future vacancies, fostering a merit-based excellent public service. Um, so the intention of the CSC Prime HRM is very good. However, the problem is in the implementation or the adoption and the implementation. Furthermore, it is a crucial component assessed under Prime HRM's HR systems alongside recruitment, learning and development, performance management, and rewards and recognition. And Prime HRM provides the framework and standards. And while succession planning is the practical tool agencies must use to develop future leaders for a continuously functioning and excellent civil service, with emphasis on continuously functioning and excellent civil service. So instead of giving a success story, I think I have to give you, let's say, a good example where succession planning is a big failure. Okay, so in the Department of Health, in one bureau, the Disease Prevention and Control Bureau, there was this long-time program manager. Okay, I think about 8 years. So he's the only program manager of cancer, and well, he was a staunch advocate of the enactment of the National Integrated Cancer Control Act in 2019. It was passed in 2019. So during one of the consultations with the Department of Budget and Management, Office Organization, Position Classification and Compensation Bureau, the OPCCB, the office in charge of the NOSCA, the Notice of Organization, Staffing and Compensation as Action, in charge of the permanent plantilla positions. That program manager was under the Lifestyle Related Disease Division, and he was transferred to the new Cancer Control Division under the cancer law, so that the institutional memory or knowledge will continue. So the services being provided to the patients should be sustainable, okay, with the new Cancer Control Division. So in the end, after the tedious HR process, the recruitment, selection, and promotion, that medical officer 4, which is next in rank to the medical officer 5, the division chief, did not get the promotion. Okay, and it was the first time that medical officer 4 applied for that promotion since 2012. The position was vacant in 2020. Okay, so only in 2022 it was there was the successful applicant, and that medical officer 4 did not get the promotion because solely of dirty politics. Okay, I think this is common in some agencies. So I must say that dirty politics is the antidote of succession planning in any agency. So that's not a success story, but a good example of a failure in succession planning. So this is the reason behind that failure in succession planning in the Department of Health. In September 2006, there was this administrative order on the guidelines for operationalizing the competency-based human resources for health management and development systems, where succession planning is mentioned. Okay, that was 2006. And the interim guidelines on succession planning was only introduced, only came out on September 30, 2024. 18 years, it's a matter of 18 years. That case study I mentioned earlier it's 2020 to 2022. So yeah, there's no clear guidelines on succession planning for 18 years. So I think that's the end of my first talk, and here's the my second talk: the performance management, results-based management, and appraisal systems. Dean? Dean Abante, will I proceed now or?
Okay, so again, sorry. The discussion on talent development emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, no, skill enhancement, and career growth within government agencies. Investing in employee training, mentoring, and professional development enables public servants, no, to adapt to changing rules, technologies, and service expectation. When talent is deliberately nurtured, employees become more engaged, competent, and committed to public service, resulting in improved organizational performance and citizen satisfaction. As our presenter mentioned, no, successful succession planning ensures leadership continuity, no, and minimizes disruption caused by the common in our countries, the retirements, no, resignations, or sometimes unexpected vacancies, no, through identifying high potential employees and preparing them for critical roles. uh, Government agency reduces risk associated with leadership gaps. No? This proactive approach strengthens institutional stability and ensures that essential function continue without compromising service quality. Another key highlight actually or key insights is the alignment of talent development and succession planning with the organizational goals and public sector mandates. And these processes are most effective when they are embedded in strategic planning, performance management, and human resource policies. No, clear competency frameworks, no, transparent selection processes, and merit-based promotions help build trust, no, and fairness within your organization. So the discussion of our presenter also highlights common challenges faced by government agencies, such as the budget constraint, no, rigid policies, resistance to change, and limited training opportunities. No, addressing these challenges requires strong leadership commitment, policy support, and a culture that values learning, no, and long-term planning. We need to accept the fact right now that innovation in training methods and partnership with educational institutions can help no overcome resource limitation. So again, talent development and succession planning serve as long-term investment in governance excellence. Through preparing employees and future leaders systematically, no, government agencies enhance resilience, no, ensure continuity, and uphold effective public service delivery. And these practices actually uh, ultimately contribute, no, to sustainable institutions that are capable, ethical, and responsive to the following, of course, to the evolving needs of the society. Okay?